Hi, my name is Paladin, and I just want to share my impressions of the recent Monster Hunter Wilds beta. To start with the elephant in the room, I just want to talk about the technical performance of the beta. I personally played the PC version of the beta. My personal computer consists of an RX 6600 for the GPU and an Intel i5 12400F for the CPU. So overall, a decent little budget rig. I use a 1440p monitor, so using FSR free and set the balance, I targeted that with a 30 FPS frame cap. It ran okay overall. Like I didn't run into any of like the low poly memes that I was seeing online, but I definitely had some chugging moments when going through tall grass while fighting Raydal. So I hope it does optimize, and they have a lot of work to do to get that running smoothly. But if they get it to where it's a smooth 30 FPS, I will be pretty happy with it. Let's hope it gets better for release day. Next, I want to go over the exploration and combat that was within the beta. The map that we got to explore, as most people know, was the Windward Plain. And honestly, I think it's an awesome map. Like, one of my favorite maps from World is actually the Wildspire Laced, and this builds upon that. I just love the details that exist within the Windward Plains, like all the small monsters like moving around, the different like glass rocks as if Raydal had attacked different spots. It just reminds me of a giant African savanna. And then the environmental traps that are all littered about, the rocks that can fall down if you use your slinger, the vine traps that some of the monsters can get trapped in, just all that little bits from World that you just use to your advantage while hunting the monster. And then the combat within the game was very satisfying. It reminds me a lot of a more heavier feeling from World, not like the fast anime-esque of Rise, which I do love, but it just felt like it built upon that with new combos and just new options for a player. And the wound system is also interesting. Like, but we've been told how the wound system works is that as you attack the monster and deal more damage, wounds will open up where you can take advantage of them. You can use focus mode attacks to break them and deal extra damage. Which honestly, I think it's a huge improvement from the tenderizer mechanic from Iceborne, which I know a lot of people had frustrations with as it felt forced on the player. So I feel like this is an amazing mechanic that they're working on, and it has a lot of promise. I do have some concerns about it just because like once I got the wound, I wanted to go for it and just break it for extra damage. So that is one concern, feeling like I need to do this for extra damage. But since wounds appear and reappear, it's not like you can just tenderize it anytime you want. So there's some fixing there, but I'm just curious to see how the mechanic will be developed. So looking forward to see more about the combat once the full game release. Finally, let's go over the monsters that were in the beta. The first entry monster that I fought in the beta was Shadowcabra. Honestly, he's definitely an entry monster within Monster Hunter. Like, I like to think of him as the Great Jagras too. I can see him a lot, like, and once the game is fully out, him being like the weapon tester, like, what are the new combos, or I want to test out my new build. But overall, the hunt was good. Just an easy, nice little hunt to start off Wilds with. Next was Balahara, which I think is just an awesome monster. Just this sandworm, and what I love about him is that he just swims through the sand, and when he's underneath the sand, you see this little bump as he moves around and swivels inside it. He actually had one of my favorite environmental trap moments in the demo. He had wrapped himself around this stalactite within one of the caves, and I pulled out my swinger and shot it down. And he just came falling down within the rocks and extra damage. He also had like this mud attack that did water blight on you. So like another like beginning monster, but I just love what they did with him. And then there's Goshuguma, which was I had an interesting time hunting him in the demo. Like I did a few practice hunts before getting footage for him where the first time I fought him just for practice without recording, he it went like an easy hunt, and then I had a hard time with him ever since when I tried recording. But as a monster, like he was just such a fun hunt or interesting hunt just because how he interacts with the new wound system, like how he goes on full on berserker mode and his brutality as a monster. So I'm definitely Like, I like what they did with him. And then for Ray Dow, like the star of the beta, like such an amazing monster. Like he was truly a spectacle. Like the setting of the storm when the lightning storm as you hunt him, like all the lighting effects, like my favorite attack for him is when he goes sideways and just slams his wing against the ground and tackles you. And when he does his railgun attack, like when people were calling him For Megala, like that was a very fitting name. Like overall, just like all the monsters we were shown were very promising, and I'm just happy with the roster within this beta, and just they're all fun hunts and just a good way to start off this wild journey. Overall, I really enjoyed the beta. It was a good introduction to Monster Hunter Wilds, and my only nitpicks overall would just be the technical situation. And thankfully, they have some months to fix that, and I hope they do for release day. Thank you guys for watching, and please leave in the comments what you guys thought about the beta. And this is actually my first time doing voiceover, so if you guys can give me feedback on it, I would hugely appreciate that. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.